I can't believe what just happened. So,
oh my.
30 seconds ago or whatever, I always, when I say certain things, I like to sing them.
Yeah.
My husband is like, can you please stop? But I'll sing them, and they're always in the same tune. And it's like, little sweet,
Little sweet.
little sweet. And so, Brian, you remarked, oh, that's a little sweet.
That's a little sweet.
And Ninja, what did you say?
What's little sweet?
She does not know.
What?
Little sweet.
What?
Little sweet.
What?
No, you can never, look.
Little sweet.
You can never say little sweet. Okay, repeat after me. Little sweet.
Little sweet.
Little sweet.
Come on, Jake. What do you think? Come on, Jake.
Little sweet one.
See?
Yeah!
Oh, right?
Yeah.
So that is Justin Guarini, who was on American Idol with Kelly Clarkson, and he was like the runner-up or whatever.
Year one.
But now,
Very first
right.
year.
But now, he's Little Sweet. Who is it Diet Dr. Pepper?
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Isn't that funny? We know Little Sweet and forgot who. But yeah.
Yeah.
But he's one of those kind of, I think he'll go down in history as one of the iconic commercial spokespeople.
I had no idea. I knew Little Sweet, but I had no idea it was him. And then he was on Kelly Clarkson's show one day, and she said, and here's Little Sweet. And I'm like,
Make
what?
the connection.
That was the connection. I was like, she gets her own talk show? You're
Little Sweet.
You're putting out Dr. Pepper.
And, he is one of those spokespeople like Flo. Isn't it progressive?
Yes.
I remember when she kind of came on the scene, I don't even know, 5 years ago?
Yeah, it seems like it's
Something?
been longer than that,
Okay.
yeah.
And people just started talking about Flo.
You know when they start dressing up for like costume
For
contest
Halloween or whatever,
it's
yeah.
Flo, that's when
Yeah.
you've kind of
Yeah.
done that, so.
Wow. So who stands out in your mind? Like one of those spokespeople as you were growing up?
Like, well, I think the one, can I tell you the one that annoys me now?
Huh.
Can I?
Yeah.
The dude with the lemu or the emu.
That's not my favorite either, but
Doug.
at the same time,
It makes you remember it.
you remember, and that's the whole point, is that we remember who they're representing. And it's not that he's bad or anything
No,
like
no,
that,
no.
but
It's just
a thing.
He just annoys me.
He just annoys you, but you'll always remember.
Get that emo back to the zoo.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Little Sweet, that's what it got us started because Ninja, morning show producer, never heard of Lil Sweet.
Come on, Ninja.
Or I just forgot, I guess. I don't.
No,
How do you forget Lil Sweet?
Can't forget Little
Oh,
Sweet.
my goodness. Okay, so talking about those spokespeople for commercials and the commercials they represent. But anyway, Brenda says, I like Jake from State Farm.
Oh, yeah.
She said, my son's name is Jacob, and we call him Jake. And then my husband will ask, hey, Jake from State Farm, what are you wearing?
Hey, wait. Do you get that Jake from his radio video?
Do you?
Yes.
Do you hate it or do you love it?
Either way, I'm going to get called it even more, so does it matter?
Yeah. And when you see him, call him Jake from State Farm. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. You got to stand up because I got to know. Wearing khakis? Okay, that was just a dead-looking Jake's face.
Wow. Wow.
Tiffany said the old lady on the Wendy's commercial, she said, where's the beef?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, Emily, who do you remember?
I remember the California Raisins and their little dance, and they would sing, like, Heard It Through the Grapevine. And my sister and I even had the little toys that you could pose.
Oh, my gosh. Remember picking up the figurines?
Yes.
Getting those? My mom had them all on her windowsill.
Hilarious. And then you guys, so you did the song and dance, right?
Yeah.
Can you sing a little bit of it?
No, I don't think so.
Come on now, Emily. Come on. I heard it through the grapevine.
Is that right? We're
So y'all did such a great job. I don't think I could ruin it.
I think we ruined it for you.
It's all about raising awareness.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, goodness.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It all started out with sweet little Ninja who know nothing about Little Sweet this morning.
Well, you don't have to be sorry about it, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised because Lil Sweet is still on commercials today.
Yeah.
right?
I don't really watch TV like that.
But
anymore.
right, which I get that, because if you stream, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily, but
I think that's what knocked us, that we watch too much TV.
you know, I don't even watch that much
Really?
television, and I
Okay.
still know Lil Sweet. So, you know, the people that we see, the spokespeople that we see on these TV commercials, Karen texted and said, how about that poor woman that says, I've fallen and I can't get up?
Oh my! And here's my thought every time.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the cameraman help her?
He's there.
Every time.
Right? She had to hit the button on the necklace around her neck. Come on. Roy said the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Boy, I remember that. He was like a big star, this Chihuahua was.
Yeah. Lisa checking in this morning with the His Morning Crew on His Radio. What do you, Liz, remember, Lisa?
So I sent you a link. It is about some kind of, it's called EDS. I don't know what that company is, but it shows cowboys out on the prairie, and they're talking about, like, generations of, like, his grandfather started herding cats, and he's on a horse, and there's cats all over the place, and they're, like, swimming across the river like cattle, and he's like, we've never lost one, and it feels good. People think everyone can do it, but it's a hard job. And when you walk into town and you haven't lost one, you got all your cats. It's a very special feeling, and it cracks me up every time. So at my house, when things are going crazy, I'm like, okay, I'm herding cats.
Oh, I love it, Lisa. Thank you so much for letting us call you this morning.
You are welcome.
I love it. You
are
help us to avoid a catastrophe.
Oh, Brian. Save me, Lisa, save me.
Y'all have a great day.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Caitlin is a 17-year-old girl who has stayed in touch with us.
Yeah.
She'll text and say, and this was a couple of weeks ago, she had texted and asked for prayer because she was going to have surgery. And I said, keep us up to date. Let us know how it goes. She was pretty anxious about it. And I think the surgery went pretty well. But it's been a rough recovery process. We had Rhett Walker in on Friday, and she reached out and she's like, oh, I love him. And he did a little video and we sent it to her. And so I just love the relationships that we get to make, that we get to cultivate, that we get to keep, because this is a ministry. It's more than a radio station, which is great. You can turn on, hear your favorite song, but at the same time, we become a family and we have these relationships. And I love that.
Yeah, because look, we know. I mean, you can get music anywhere. You can get music anywhere, but there's ministry that takes place. In His Radio, we're a listener-supported radio ministry. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe that's you're hearing like terms like friend raiser and more than music mission partner. What is that all about? Well, we take 2 times, once in the spring, once in the fall, raise the operational budget for His Radio. 4 days coming up beginning April the 5th. Together, we're making a difference. Literally, when you're a part of the listening team, when you're listening into His Radio, that's great. We love that. But, man, when you become a part of the giving team, it really changes because you're hearing that story about Caitlin go, man, my support is helping make things like this happen. Lives are being changed. These are stories that are happening, real stories, and most of all, Jesus is being glorified and lifted up.
Right. And when you make that gift of support financially, you're making that text available for Caitlin to reach out and say, I'm anxious. I need you to pray for me. And then the prayer line, that's another facet of it, as well as the music and the message. So if you would like to jump on in and support this ministry, we would love for you to do that. You don't have to wait until April 5th, even though that's when Fundraiser starts. You can give us a kickstart, and you can do it right now. Text the word GIVE, 800-447-7234. Open the My His Radio app or online, hisradio.com.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Katie's dad is pretty cool. He loves animals, and he is what seems to be very much a dog person, and he's always kind of worked with animals rescuing.
Yeah, working at shelters and rescues and stuff like that.
Yeah, but now he's taking, things a little easier.
Yeah, well, he and his wife are empty nesters now. So, but the daughter says it's like when his car pulls up, it's like the neighborhood dogs know, and they all come rushing to
Daddy's
her
home.
dad. And and so she says she'll walk in and he's like taking a nap and all the neighborhood dogs are around him and they're taking a nap together.
They're all like, we can see pictures. You can see these at hisradio.com. You watch the video replays and watch us on His Radio TV. But they climb up. He's in the lazy boy, of course. And, he's got the seat popped back. And there are dogs of all different sizes, breeds, just snuggled. It looks like a golden retriever on his back and looks like under a blanket and just out. This dog and this dude are out.
I mean, but you snuggle up with Charlie and
every night. So she had to be shaved over the weekend because she gets down and plays by the lake and gets matted and it's hard to brush that out. And so she had to be shaved. They call it tip to tail.
Okay.
Right. And so, she's been really cold lately. This girl has snuggled like you would not believe over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so Lon will do this. And not only that, he helps to foster some of them, and then they're rehomed. But a lot of the dogs, they end up in the lazy boy with him for a while.
For the rest of their lives.
Yeah, they found their forever home with Daddy Lon.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Instead of the camping, it seems like more and more people are doing the glamping thing.
I like glamping.
Do you?
It's not like I've really gone glamping, but I would say that's the way I would want to do it. I'm not into the snakes and the things and all the things, so
and the bears and the
bears.
Skunks
So if I can have something to glamp in, I'm okay with that. There's a company called White Desert.
Okay.
And they are putting out this glamping experience.
All right, tell me about it. What did they do?
Antarctica.
Okay, you had me till you said Antarctica.
Yeah, and so it's 6 space-like pods. It's almost like, have you seen that movie with Matt Damon? It's called The Martian.
Oh, gosh,
and you stop. You stop.
Oh, my gosh.
I love that movie.
Oh, okay.
Stop. Anyway. So you know how they have the little pods set up on Mars in this movie? It kind of looks the same to me. You've got like a base and then you've got all these little pods coming off. So it has like a common lounge area for everybody, a dining room, you have personal chefs, all the things.
Really?
Yeah.
But you got to go to Antarctica.
You got to go to Antarctica, but you get a close-up look at penguins. They say there's like 14,000 penguins that you can just watch outside your window maybe as you're dining, and all the snow, and of course it's heated. It will cost you a little bit. What would you pay for an experience like that?
I'm saying that's probably going to be $7,500.
No. For the week, $140,000. But see, that's a trip I would take where I would not go to space.
I'm thinking cardboard fort, turn on the fan, and turn on a nature program with some penguins.
In your living room, not in Antarctica.
I could save you $14,995.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can't even imagine. But for the week, it does get you 7 days, 6 nights.
Oh.
7 nights, 6 days. 6 days.
There you go.
I'm good at the math.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
These gas prices.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness. Although I will say the little station that's right around the corner from us is down a good bit. So that was nice to see.
And I love how people are coming forward to help out right now. Willie Wilson, Chicago businessman, last week, $200,000, and he went to some participating gas stations and said $200,000. Each car can get $50 worth of gas until the money runs out.
I bet the gas stations were participating.
They
yes!
were packed. And so Willie says, want to do it again this coming Thursday.
Oh, cool.
But this time, $1 million. $1 million, 50 gas stations will be participating. He says, this has been a hardship on so many people, and I just want to help out.
And up to $50, which is good. I filled up yesterday, and it was in that neighborhood. So I think that's a good number.
Do you go down to E right now before you fill up?
I don't, because I just don't. I get nervous. But I will say my little fuel light came on yesterday, but it was like I had 60 miles left or something.
Okay.
No, I can't. I cannot drive it until it's just bone dry.
Well, I mean, mine is I use premium.
Me too.
gas. So it's like when I get to a quarter of a tank, that's like I just go ahead and fill back up.
Yeah.
But I love what Willie said. Willie says, I'm confident that with God's help and wisdom, we're going to get through these tough times together. This is our second gas giveaway. The need is great. I want to help. He says, if I can help somebody as I pass along the way, it's going to make me feel like my life is not in vain.
Look at that.
Imagine that, $1 million this Thursday. Should we go to Chicago?
I think so, but I'm not driving.
Road
You are.
trip.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So the big three, I guess you would call them, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, have
Okay.
gotten together and they said, okay, so starting on July 1st, medical collection debt is no longer going to be part of like your credit report.
Oh, your credit score, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're going to pull that off because, like you said, Brian, sometimes these things happen when you least expect it. And, I hate that maybe you wouldn't be able to buy a home, or we wouldn't be able to buy a car or send a kid to college or whatever.
Fill up your gas tank.
Yeah, or fill up your gas tank for sure. Because there was an unexpected medical expense.
Yeah.
Because who plans for that?
No.
Who really plans for, I hate to say things like car accidents or, a kid breaks an arm or whatever, and that can set you back a little bit. So that's what they're doing.
Okay, so here you go. You're wondering when it's going to happen. July the 1st, paid medical collection debt will no longer be included on your consumer credit reports.
Did you hear that? I heard a
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Everyday parents are just maybe kind of struggling about ways they can teach their youngins about Jesus, to share about Jesus. And there's been tools throughout the years. We know things like VeggieTales and things like that. Well, here you go. If you got kids 3 to 8, there's a brand new thing that's coming out called The Garden. It's going to be a half-hour cartoon, and this is pretty cool. It's Butch Hartman and his wife Julianne that have put it together. Butch used to work for Nickelodeon, and behind things like Danny Phantom and Tough Puppy and Fairly Odd Parent, I think, is things he's been behind.
Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to watch that one. with my
Did
kids.
you?
Oh, my goodness. And I've seen, you're showing me some of the pictures from The Garden, which is the new cartoon. And some of the characters look just like Fairly
really?
Odd Parents, like in the eyes, especially Wanda, who's
Yeah.
on Fairly Odd, looks just like her. There's like a sheep that looks like Wanda. I'm like, okay, I'm down with this. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that the subject matter is something like I wouldn't have expected from
Yeah.
someone that worked,
At Nickelodeon there. Yeah, he really wants to share the love of Jesus and make a tool where parents can share with Jesus. It's Lenny the lion and Lucy the lamb, and every day they get a word from the boss.
Who's God?
Who's
Which
God.
is awesome.
And they try to go about doing things their own way, and of course they mess it up.
Right.
And then when they look to God and there's lessons and songs and stuff like that to help them, get on the right path again. So this is pretty cool. There's no release date yet. They're shooting for maybe August or September of
that's
this year.
good.
And the first season will have like 20 episodes there.
Oh, so that's I think that's a good long time.
So how old is your grandbaby?
She's a year old. She's totally into Bluey. And so, I think
Does
this
this look
is
like something maybe she'd be interested in?
I think so, absolutely.
All right, if you got kids, The Garden, look for it this summer.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
You are making an impact each and every day here at His Radio. We're a listener-supported radio ministry. 4 days in the spring, 4 days in the fall to raise the operational budget. 4 days, and we want to be 100% fully funded. Our spring fundraiser, it's called Friend Raiser, gets underway April 5th. And together, you're bringing hope and encouragement
Right.
and the love of Jesus to people. I love when we get these stories because it's not our stories. It's your stories with your support. Can I tell you about Willie? I just got to read this. Started listening a few weeks ago, and your radio station's been instrumental in helping me rededicate my life to Jesus again.
Well, it's a constant reminder. Those songs are like, okay, this is where I should be.
Yeah.
I should be right there, in the Word, and I just need to refocus.
Yeah.
And if that's what these songs do, if something that you hear on the air, even sparks an interest with someone who has not had that relationship with Jesus, that's what it's all about. That is the ministry of His Radio, and you have the opportunity to share that message with somebody else with your gift. And like Brian said, fundraiser starts on April 5th, but you can really give us a kickstart. We could use that to make sure, because we are only doing 4 days.
Yeah.
But your gift of support could give us that kickstart, and you can do it right now online at hisradio.com, the My His Radio app, or just by texting GIVE to 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
All right, you check your email first thing when you sit down at your desk, at your office, and there's an email from the boss that says, okay, I'm going to make a special announcement 9 o'clock this morning.
Ooh,
and right? And you're like,
man.
oh, good grief. What in the
My
world
mind
could this
always
be?
goes to worst case scenario.
Right? Why is that?
I don't know, but that's where I go.
I know, I'm an optimist, and I still go, oh my goodness, how long is this meeting going to last?
Oh, my.
All right, so 9,000.
9. Okay, yeah.
I know. 9,000 employees get on this meeting, basically. Well, there's 9,000 employees at Vanderbilt University.
Okay.
So they're all, tuned in or awaiting word of what's going on. And the chancellor says it's been a rough couple of years. Pandemic, all this junk that's going on.
Man, at that point, I'm still freaking.
Right?
Yeah.
So here's the pink slip. Oh, no. No, he gave them all a bonus.
No, really?
Yes.
Everybody?
So full-time and part-time.
Yeah.
If they're eligible, and it probably is, you have to have worked there for so long or, whatever, $1,500.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and it was so unexpected. Nobody knew it was happening. And just $1,500 because he said, you've been heroes over the last couple of years. You've stayed at work. You've done everything that we've asked you to do. And you've had to work remotely or pivot at the last minute. And so here you go. We're going to write some checks.
And like Vanderbilt is like 150 years old, right? I think
it's old, but I don't know how old it is.
Okay.
I mean, a name like Vanderbilt, I'm sure. It wasn't just thrown up last week.
It's been around. So.
Yeah. So when you get that email in the morning from your boss, don't act like me and Brian. Don't automatically think it's the worst case scenario.
It could be the best case scenario.